Yes, I've got you under my skin. I've tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair ain't never gonna go too well. But why should I try to resist?
Hey, thanks for listening. Welcome back to the podcast. My guest this week is Blake Wexler. He returns to the podcast, but he has left Los Angeles. He is back in Philadelphia full time. And that's a lot of what we talked about. And, the pandemic and whatnot, and the world returning to whatever it's going to be. And it was a fun talk, man. I always enjoy catching up with Blake. He just recorded... I guess what'll turn out to be a new record or a special. We talk about that a little bit. He just recorded that at Helium. So, check out his all his other records and his podcast, Blake's Takes, for God's sakes. Yeah. So all the links will be in the show notes. Enjoy. Blake Wexler.
Christmas came early that year.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I may say, if I can start off with that.
So what's up, dude? How you been?
I've been good. I'm in Philly now. We just moved into Fairmount, the Fairmount section of Philly for the night.
Nice.
Left LA in, obviously we would have to see you guys. It was a weird exit. It was a Wexit. Because there was no, like, normally I'd be like, oh, I'll go say goodbye to everybody, but like there's a raging virus.
Yeah.
So
I heard about that.
An alleged raging virus. But so we ended up leaving and staying at my girlfriend's parents in the suburbs of Philadelphia for the past 4 months.
Yeah.
And made the decision, like, do we go to New York right away? And it was an odd timing because things were opening up. Mm-hmm. But made the decision career-wise that it was probably more. It was a more intelligent thing to do to not be a part of a huge scene opening back up again when I could just be in the scene that I started, which is a great scene, and get page legs underneath me. And whenever I want to do shows, head up there over the next year or so. And also I get to eat like a pile of trash and watch the sports that I want to watch. You know what I mean? So yeah. Well, that's what I've been up to.
I mean, it's who knows what's going to be here or what this is going to become. It's definitely going to be different. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it'll return like it did. I like, what was keeping you here anyway? Being around production. Well, okay. Well, okay. When's that coming back?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of those things are being done remote now anyway.
Right. Can't you do that by yourself now anyway?
Sorry?
You can do that yourself now anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So all you need is a room, and it's the same equipment. It's not like, New York and LA has access to better equipment. You might have access to better people using the things, but if you can teach yourself how to use them,
then I mean, you can still pull.
What do I need?
Shooting. Yeah. I think it really does open up a lot of things. Like I really thought about it a lot. I mean, I'm not going because, my kids are starting school and stuff like that, but like, it does kind of seem preposterous to stay here if you don't love the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too, where it wasn't like, I loved living, I know a lot of comedians who move out of LA and, they're like, oh, fuck, dude, pizza sucks. And, everyone's fake and, like blah, blah, blah. But, things suck in every single city. People suck in every single city. It's an amazing place to be. I just think that, I moved to LA when I was 22. As a 22-year-old stand-up comedian, made a lot of first impressions as someone who didn't have like the experience of a more grown up person, you know what I mean? And make
Right.
like maybe didn't like have proper process to things.
Sure.
And now I'm like, you know, in my early 30s and I have another 10 years of experience under my belt and I know the things that work for me and
Yeah.
the things, you know, to work more, you know, to work smarter. So
Yeah.
why not do that in a city, you know, like on the East Coast where like I can do more stand up, you know, like I think
Yeah.
your question about production too, like what was key LA, I didn't have a job keeping me there, you know,
Right,
and like
right.
I don't have kids and my, you know, like my girlfriend is from the East Coast as well. So it was it's an easier time in my life to make that decision
Well,
than
it shouldn't
you
feel
know,
like a
it would have
step back
been.
for you now. You know, like you shouldn't feel like,
Mhm.
oh, you know, I couldn't make it in LA. That's not true. You were doing great in LA. Like you're a great
Thank
comic.
you.
It's, you know, that sort of like chance that the right person will see you from production company XYZ. It's like, well, that's all gone now, I think. Like legit. Like,
Yeah.
and if California keeps fucking with like making it not financially viable to shoot here, then, you know, you're still going to have the millions and millions and millions of people, or maybe it's not that many millions, but the people who are not on camera that are here and can't move like that easily and pick up and go. And, you know, that's what makes me think it'll come back fairly, you know, 80-90% of what it was, because all those people didn't leave. They're waiting for the shows to come back, right? And people to
Yeah.
create things. But people like you and you know, that are individual creators at this point, yeah, you know, good for you, man. Like it'll be fun. Like it's a different life for you. You love that town. You know,
I love it to an unhealthy extent. Yeah, I love it. So, you know, and that was a mental exercise to go through too, where, you know, obviously like it's a career decision, you know, like this is a career and obviously, you know, like family is a part of it too, being close to family. But, you know, for me, you have to, it's like, Blake, just make sure you're not moving so you can go to more Phillies games. You know what I mean? Like, let's just make sure this is for your career. And it, you know, I think it is, you know, so far, I mean, like, it's, you know, got vaccinated and have been doing, you know, it's nice from not from a, because I am not like competitive, strange word, but I am a fairly competitive person with stand up in that like I want to be as great as possible, you know, like I want to be one of the best stand ups. So, but from it is nice in a way to not have to submit my avails on the same emails that like Sarah Silverman is submitting on, you know what I mean? And like all, and like Bill Burr and all these huge comics, because they haven't been doing stand up for over a year either.
Right.
You know, it is good to be, you know, to be able to like get, because, you know, you have rust on you. And like, you know, I feel 90% back to who I was as a comic, and I feel better in a lot of ways. But, you know, it is good to get back to it in a way where you can develop, you know, it's almost like I'm brand new again, you know, where like you don't want to move to LA or New York already. And it's almost like, even though I've been doing stand up for 15 years and I've been in LA, move back to a scene before my comedy's ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like after such a long haul.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. I'm, you know, and Helium's a great spot. In Philly.
It's the best.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool. You know, it's, you know, it's very interesting. This whole thing has changed so much perspective, obviously, around so many things. But, you know, I just feel like wherever you are, it's going to be fine, which is cool. And I'm psyched for you to be there. Like the content I'm expecting from you being in that city for all these sports is, you know, you've set a high bar and you were 3,000 miles away. You know,
yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, no, I'm obviously going to miss you. Like I'm going to miss the people. I'll miss the scene too. But it's funny. I did this show at Helium last week, and you know we were taping it, like, you know, video, audio, and just in the middle of it, I was just feeling so loose. I just started this rant on Rudy Gobert, and like just for 5 minutes, and it was just one of these things where it was one of the funniest things that I did all night, because it was just completely most people had no idea what the hell I was talking about. It was one of those things where a third of the audience was was wiping tears out of their eyes, and then the rest were like, is this like an old French character from like a Dickens novel or something? Who the hell is Rudy Gobert? But I'm excited to see. I should get the clips from it this week. But yeah, man, it's just like you said. I just think you need that for a place, and you also need to keep watching comedy. Like that's the thing. I'm very, I think there's a lot of great stand-ups in Philly, but the best comics for the most part live in those two cities, like New York or LA. So I think it's important to keep seeing like what, not even just the most famous, but go online and like look at like, oh cool, that's what this person's doing. Like they're doing new cool stuff, just so you don't get into, or so I don't get into like I don't know, too content or too comfortable or whatever. Yeah.
So are you going to do a lot of New York action too, you think? Is that the goal? Just the whole circuit up and down, right? You have North Carolina too, right?
Yeah, man. I have like, it's weird where you see who listens to your stuff thanks to like, podcast analytics or, like my albums and stuff.
Yep.
And it's LA, it was San Diego and like, Minneapolis, but the rest are all in the Northeast. It's like Austin, Philly, New York, DC, and all these places are within a 2-hour drive. I mean, like an hour and a half train ride, and then you can zip to all these cities within 2 hours on a plane. Like it's just, for me, I don't know if I was fighting it, if I wanted to stay in or what it was, but it does seem, I mean, we'll see, like maybe we'll talk in another few months and I'll be like, Matt, I made a horrific mistake.
Well, you haven't had summer yet.
I've been canceled. But no, it's not even the end of summer.
Yeah. You haven't had summer. You haven't had the humidity.
I just want to make it through the summer. That's all I'm trying to do. And then we'll go from there. I'll break this lease.
Oh man, that's so cool, man. So how was the Helium recording? Did you record both shows? 2 shows? How many shows?
Only did one, and like, well, that's not entirely true. So I did, I milled. So the cool thing that Helium's doing right now is that they have like album capabilities, like that sort of like audio equipment in every single one of their clubs. So they have like 6 clubs, and the guy, Jeremy, who runs their recordings, can just do it from anywhere. All he has to do is like switch it on. So
right.
I did, keep in mind, like I haven't done a lot of, like I did 3 shows in 7 months. And this was like my 4th or 5th show back, I think, after an additional 6 months in the pandemic. So, a warm-up show middling for a really funny comic named Steve Gillespie. And they were able to just switch on the recording. So I do have 20 minutes from that. Nice. And then like an hour that I did the other night. But yeah, it was, I mean, the thing is too, we're still in a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's a limited capacity. It's only 100 people, I think, allowed in there, which is way more than I thought I would ever feel comfortable with even 3 months ago, like before being back, like I couldn't even conceptualize it. So it went well. Yeah, they were like really supportive. People are very excited. It's funny. The first few shows I did, it seemed like it wasn't people who, I'm talking about indoor shows. Yeah. After I got vaccinated, like, all right, I'm going to start setting up some dates. And the people in the audience, they weren't people who just got vaccinated and were excited to start doing things. They were people who've just been doing things the entire time, and the only reason why they haven't been at like raves and like Ted Nugent concerts are because the venues weren't open, Right. So you could see some of the people there where it's like, I see why this little turn of phrase didn't land with this audience. The crowd though at Helium was, like a fun, smart crowd. And, I mean, not that like I'm some like comedic, like with, but like you do see certain things like hit better with certain crowds. So yeah, it was, they were great, man. Yeah. It was a cool thing to be in the club you started out in, like they're bringing their staff back. You know what I mean? It's, you forget as a self-centered comedian that these clubs and the staff had to go through the same thing. Like just because you couldn't perform live doesn't mean they were just operating a comedy club with no person on stage. They've been shut down too. So it's cool to see everybody get back to work.
That's cool. Yeah, it's interesting the vaccination thing. It does feel probably, it does feel weird. It feels like this weird little superpower, like of less stress. Just like, okay, like I can just chill out a little bit. And, I love to go down conspiracy theory rabbit holes, but there's just there's no benefit to what has had to happen to get these vaccines out other than for, a handful of people who made billions of dollars. But it's honestly too much of a pain in the ass to have been a formulated plan. Like, oh, I get it. We'll get them to make 2 appointments. Then they'll be sure to believe that the vaccine's fake. It's like, no, the CVS did not need to do this. No, it's a pain in the ass. It's a giant pain in the ass.
And they've had bad quarters recently. I think they were banking somehow this thing would be a great success.
They're like,
and people getting their vaccines would buy tape or whatever.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's free and we have to do all the logistics. They don't pay us. No, anybody can just walk in off the street. And then you just give them the shot and then, you don't get anything for that. I mean, I think CVS had to buy the shots, I don't know.
Unbelievable.
I think they're totally screwed on this whole thing. They're just hoping that the aisles will be so attractive to the people coming in for their the impulse items will make it worth the. Come on, son.
We're gonna have staff members sneak things into people's pockets as they walk out, and they'll set off the alarm system, and then we'll charge them for things. That's our business model now. That's how we're gonna get people to buy CVS products. We're gonna accuse them of We're gonna bait them into shoplifting. Yeah, man. It's just to your point. There's so much less. Once you get your show, like have you gotten yours yet?
Yes. Yeah. I'm all set.
Amazing. Congrats.
Yeah.
There's just less math. Like there's less of like, oh shit, like am I like how far outside? Like do they have like patio furniture? You know what I mean? Do I have enough patio furniture?
To me, the thing that made it solid in my mind was like, oh, now it's kind of like the flu. Now it won't kill me. Now it won't kill me. If we're all at that level, then it could kind of be like the flu, except it takes everybody. Like that's the thing is like, but that's the where you feel a little less stress. And my daughter wants to get it, and they just approved it for adolescents. So it's like, I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Right.
Like we get the flu shot. Like I believe in this shit. So the vaccines are even cooler. Like the mRNA vaccines are even cooler. Apparently, they're
really cool.
They disappear. It's like a platform. Like somebody explained it to me, like Snapchat. Like the mRNA comes in, does its job, and then just disappears. So that's pretty dope. Like it comes in and it's like the Matrix, teaches your body how to fix this, and then goes away. Pretty dope.
And it's not like they just started like out of thin air.
No, it's been tested in humans for more than a decade.
Yeah. It's exactly.
They're safe. Like they just couldn't find one that was effective. Is what I think I understand is that they've known they don't do anything safety wise for the most part, or they're well tolerated, I guess. But they couldn't find something where it was working as well as this. So so it's really interesting. But Moderna has been doing this. Phase 1 trials were like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It is an interesting thing, and it's crazy to watch the people that don't think it's real or that are thinking they're being injected with a tracking device that they type about on their phone, which is a tracking device. It's it's weird, and the East Coast is more open than here. Like, what do you see as the difference? You lived in California through this pandemic, and now you're on the East Coast. It's different from what I can see. I haven't been yet.
So I've had a unique perspective, whereas careful as I've taken this pandemic and as many things that I've limited myself from doing, I did travel a decent amount States during this, so we could visit family. It was extremely expensive because once we traveled, we would lock ourselves down for 2 weeks in like an Airbnb or something before we'd see our parents, so it was extremely time consuming, but we got different perspectives of where I saw Charleston, South Carolina, Florida, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and LA. And they're all LA is a thing where, it's interesting, just different perspectives on these things, where when I was in Los Angeles and at the beginning, we went to take our dog out for a second outside, and then just like, oh God, we forgot our mask, and we were just outside our door, and before we could run, we were outside for not kidding, maybe 4.5 seconds. Someone drove by and just yelled like, "You Trump fucks!" Like just flipping us, calling us like Trump fuck. Like literally, it was as if someone was waiting in the bushes for someone without a mask, and it's like obviously not wearing a mask is terrible, but that's how good LA was with masks, and how on top of it was, but also, and by the way, I don't know what the right thing to have done was. I don't know when opening was correct. Hindsight's 2020, but it is, we never in LA never opened, and even having outdoor dining was never really truly happened, which seems now like that was probably a safe thing to do, but it seems like the Northeast did a decent job. Like I know Philly was like, okay, we have outdoor dining, limited capacity, and we're not doing any indoor things. And it's like, okay, well, that seems like a responsible response. And then if there was a wave, everything shut down, and then but they seemed to open earlier. Right. And then Florida, there was never a pandemic there. No one knew about masks. Masks they never made it down there. And they got stuck in the swamp, and the gators ate all the masks. And then Charleston's like a liberal city in a very red state, and they were trying to be closer to like a Northeast situation, but the state laws were different from the city laws. So it was there was not the fact that there were so many different messages out there for the same virus, essentially. And it's just no one handled it well. So I think that was the interesting thing to see, where I would be in LA, didn't do anything for 4 months. And then it's like, I'm in Florida. I could just go I could go eat inside, at this tiki bar. I'm not going to, but I could if I wanted to. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, I guess what you end up with is what actually happened, and what doesn't get talked about is a lot of people got sick, and a lot of people just got over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what happened, is a lot of people got sick, and it wasn't that bad. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people fucking died. And so it's like the story of it is different than the reality of it. Like, it probably was terrible. There's probably, a good 100,000 or more people that died in Florida. I don't know the numbers, but like, there are people that their relatives died, and they're like, well, shit, we live in Florida where they didn't do anything to prevent this.
Yeah.
Right? You don't hear that story. You don't hear that side. You just see, the beach at spring break and Florida man. It's just this generalized thing. It's weird, man. I've noticed now that things are starting to open up. There's some things that I don't get, which is, how is it that it's okay now that restaurants open, that it's okay to sit inside with your masks off while you eat? Okay. Right. I'm not questioning that we should have locked down. I'm just saying, okay, we can't guarantee everybody's vaccinated. Literally nothing has changed. So I guess this probably would have been okay the whole time. Like,
yes, it's right? Inconsistent. So,
yeah. Like we're finding out what would have been okay the whole time and judging how it was the whole time. And it's like, okay, all right, so I can chill out. It's just like I stopped washing my groceries when I was like, if the groceries were transmitting this, we'd be screwed. So that's not happening. And it was these little rolls of the dice every couple weeks to be like, well, let's test this. But what I'm thinking now is just like, if everybody's vaccinated and this thing basically can't or is way less likely to kill you and put you in the hospital, then it does start to become like the flu. Because guess what? The flu can put you in the hospital, but it doesn't end with, oh, it's just like the flu. It's like, no, this thing is way worse. It's way worse.
Yeah.
Like they're saying now all these things it can do to your heart long term. Like, we don't know. What we do know is don't get it. That's the best thing. That's the best way. So it's like, it's very interesting that this whole psychology and what's occurred, and all of us sitting alone at home trying to wrap our heads around it, reading the internet, watching the news. Like, it's crazy, man. I don't know how we're going to get to the real deal until time passes and we can uncover what the fuck is actually going on. Like, it's still only, just over a year we've even had this thing to study. The flu's been around forever. We know lots about that shit, and it still kills people on the regular.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. To your point, I think no one deserves a pat on the back, and like, I'm on the side of things where if you have this like ravaging, like this awful virus, err on the side of caution, but that's the thing too. Like, places like Florida, it's to your point, is like, yeah, a lot of people probably got COVID there and we're completely fine, So I think a lot of them are like, well, our restaurants were open the whole time, and it turns out actually, it is safe to eat outside, and it turns out like it is okay to like, go to these like outdoor things, and it turns out it is okay
Florida
to go to,
was,
all these things.
I'm changing my mind on this. Florida should get like an award for being the canary in the coal mine. Like, like they're like, fuck it. Let's see. Yeah. Let's roll the dice. I'm just kidding. I still think they're nuts. But like,
of course,
it's very interesting when you look at it that way. Like, we allowed states to test it and then didn't share the information well with each other.
That was a huge
fought
issue
with each other. Like,
it was not shared well.
We should have been like, is everybody okay that we're just going to let Florida test this? And everybody would be like, oh, okay, let them try it. And then we could see the data and be like, okay, restaurants outside, okay. Restaurants inside, not okay.
Right.
Like, not okay. Okay. Yeah, your parent, you can have a funeral for your parents, but keep it to 20 people. Whatever the fucking thing is. Florida tested it all. We just didn't get the information very well. And like,
well, it's because they don't know how to use computers.
Is that what it is?
I think they don't have computers down there. Yeah, they have flamingos that fly their messages. But no, yeah, and to my like beloved California too, like, we screwed up there was enough information saying, hey, you can open up outdoor places, and they weren't doing it. So it is like, which side would I rather be on? I'd rather be on the careful side, but to your point too, where there's just the there's ancillary issues here too, where, like, I know a lot of people where I didn't go to the doctor at all during the pandemic.
Right.
And I am luckily, like, a knock on wood, fairly healthy, like, younger person, but like, in the scheme of things, like, as an adult, but, there's plenty of people where it's like the risk of getting COVID isn't as bad as the mental health things that you may have put yourself through by staying at home, or, like, yeah, so there's just so many. And I guess that's my point too. I think nobody deserves a pat in the back, and almost nobody deserves too much blame. I think there is definitely certain groups that went one way too far, that like, obviously, and we know which groups those are, but in general, it's like no one knew what the hell this thing was. But I think once we had the information, it's just no one communicated it to each other well. And that was the biggest. And that's the difference between like, oh, we could have been doing better 4 months ago, like, not the whole time, but like things could have started getting better a little sooner.
Yeah, we're just basically dumb as a organization of whatever this is. But so tell me about Blake's Takes and what you've been up to, and what you're working on, and like, are you building towards something? I mean, this helium thing was a record, right? Or is it a special and a record?
It is for it's weird. So that thing, it was brought to my attention. So Helium is that is an amazing club in Philadelphia where I started out, and they're now like created their own record label, which is cool. So the thing is that the material that I recorded for that is when I record an album, I don't want any repeats. Obviously, it has to be all new material. So, nothing on my second album was on my first, nothing on my third was on my second, or for, you know what I mean? So nothing was a repeat. So for this, I hesitate to call it an album. Basically, I did a completely clean album. And it was more of a way to get like the residuals that I'd be getting, for things that I do, where like putting it out there for like XM Sirius, for instance, it helps if it's you can't get on, it's completely clean.
Right.
And Jeremy, this guy at Helium, who's a very smart guy, was like, I was listening through your albums, Blake, and just your material is completely clean. And he goes, I don't take this the wrong way. You swear for no reason whatsoever. And he's 100% correct, where I'm never like, hey guys, you ever think about fucking, like this guy's fucking this girl or something like that. It's like, I'm trying to think of a word, and I'm like, so what was like, fucking, oh, right. So I went to a camp when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, it's just unnecessary swearing. So it was being very intentional wording and what I was saying, and which is a great habit to get into, obviously, as a comedian. And also we did a like shoot, like 4K, and I want to see how that looks. And good enough, then it might be a situation where it goes, let's do some pickup shots on another, get another angle, like a handheld angle, get different shots and piece together, like get audience reaction and piece together like a cool looking thing, So, but yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, hopefully I can get some more streaming money, and I'll have really cool angles for like some great video to put online. You know what I mean? So, and then my podcast. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry, was I cutting you off?
No, I was just thinking about what you're going to have in hand from a 4K perspective, and being able to like chop it up and use it just to promote, if nothing else. It's interesting. I'm sure you've seen Danny Jollis's special, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
6 parts. I mean, that's amazing piece of work. And if you listen to, he talked about it a lot on John Huck's podcast of how he shot it, and it's really smart the way he did it. But
I love him. He's so funny.
Oh my God. He's so funny. He's so funny.
I saw him. He was doing my show like a few years ago, and he was walking like an old man. And I'm like, what the fuck with you? And I think he like pulled both his hamstrings, like sprinting for some silly commercial or something. Like it was one of the silliest stories. He is one of my favorite comedians, and favorite people too. God, he's great. Yeah. I don't know if I 100%. He did something to his hamstrings when he was walking. So yeah, I mean that's now I can't stop laughing. Picture that. But so yeah, that's the main thing. That's the next piece of work that I'm doing. Like I'm gonna have to watch myself and listen to myself, which is one of my favorite things to do in the entire world. And then I'm going to I don't overthink any of that at all. And yeah, I still am like, I'm trying to like write this movie with a buddy, and, trying to write another thing and like pitch to that via Zoom. And I think we're going to shoot a short of it, but they're still in LA. So, it's funny. A 3-hour time difference doesn't seem much, but when you were sweet enough to do this earlier, like the difference between 8 PM and 11 PM is like oh, I'm eating dinner or I'm asleep. You know what I mean? So that's a funny difference. And then that podcast that I do like really started as a way to keep myself performing during the pandemic, because the format, there's an occasional interview on it, but like I haven't done interviews in forever. It's just me like free associate improvising off things that I say. And it does, I mean, I'm saying it kept me sharp. I don't know if it kept me sharp or if I've slowly devolved into like a place of insanity that doesn't exist anywhere outside of that podcast. But it's turned into this really weird it is unlike, I will say, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but I haven't heard anything like it before, like, and I don't know if that's a reason why it is a very small audience, but the people who listen, like they subscribe to my Patreon, they come to all my shows, like I had like one guy send me, like this massive, whoa, hold on. Did I just lose you? Am I still here? Okay, good.
I don't think so.
He sent me this massive like discount code to Nike, because he had a friends
Nice.
and family discount, and I bought all my family like presents with it. Like it was just, there's people who don't get it are going to be like, this is maybe the worst thing I've ever listened to in my life. I don't know if this is comedy. It's for sure not entertainment. I don't know why anyone listens to this, but the people who dig it really, really dig it, which is fun. So, it was a thing when I couldn't do live shows. It's, even though there's no audience there, as a performer and a stand-up, you still have that internal clock of, oh, I'm either rambling or, oh, this needs a joke here. I need to be funny here.
Right.
And you do still have a pressure to say something funny in the same way when you're on stage riffing. Well, not the same, but, close enough to it.
Yeah. I got to listen to a more recent one. I remember when you started it, I definitely listened to it, but there's so honestly, I feel this way about mine. Like there's so many podcasts. Like if anybody listens, cool. Like, this, like you said, this is to keep sharp. And I'd love to figure out a theme that was catchy. Like I'd love to be able to come up with some kind of gag or not gag, but just like theme or something. But most of the podcasts I listen to don't have that at all. So I like it. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I don't care. Like maybe one will emerge. Maybe I'll think of something I always like to ask people, but I just don't have that right now. And I don't know if it matters at all. Like it evolves, I feel like, right? I don't know. Maybe not.
I love this. But I also think it's theme or not, it's point of view driven, and you do have a great point of view, so it is, this is like we're talking, like a lot of podcasts have two, comedians talking, but it's because it's Matt, Neil talking. There's just a different vibe. Like it's a chiller vibe. It's more introspective. You know what I mean? Like this is coming from you. So it's interesting if you're interesting, and I think you're interesting. So for me, I like it,
that.
But
I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I just think good conversations are good for everybody. So I'm just like, well, whether it's listening to them or having them, it just expands your thought process a little bit. And then, when I feel good about going back on stage or whatever, like, I want to feel like you said, like it doesn't keep you sharp in the same way. It's a different muscle, but it's like you're talking and thinking through your thoughts and trying to come up with something engaging. And, I think that's a skill in and of itself, and it's like, I don't know, this will come in handy for something someday. You know what I mean? Like, who knows,
And that's the thing too, where I noticed my first shows back, my like riffing and, like off the cuff skills were even better than before the pandemic, because, I'm talking to people like you more, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing like that muscle is still like very strong. The thing where I did feel atrophy was remembering recounting your jokes, where like I understood the premise and I knew where the big laughs were, but just those small, setups and stuff where I would be through a joke and, your timing's off, and it almost seemed more like I was remembering something than telling. Does that make sense? So, and that wore off after the first show. I was still a little bit rusty the second, and then it was back to normal. And a lot of my friends that I've spoken to, similar things happen.
That's an interesting way to put it. Remembering instead of telling. Yeah. Cause that's got to come through too. And then you had that, you put out a record in the pandemic too, that live one. That was really good. I really enjoyed that.
I did. Fun. I think this was the first place I mentioned it. First of all, thank you. And then second, that was a completely self-produced thing. And I wasn't heavily promoting it because I was just like, mean, fuck it, I'm gonna put this out. It sounds good. I recorded it on my phone.
Yeah.
Like all these other albums that I did. It's like, oh, I split, like money with a big, like with this big comedy record company, and they did all they could. You know what I mean? But like, I think that you just do it yourself, because a publicist isn't going to make more people like you. Like they're not, if someone says like, oh, here's comedian Blake Wexler, it doesn't matter if I'm handing them my stuff or a publicist is. Like, if they like it, they'll promote it. If they don't, this guy fucking sucks, but I guess Sandra swizzle sticks over here like says he's good, so whatever, no one gives a shit. So so I released it, and it did. And the thing why I wasn't heavily promoting it is that until the day of, I just didn't know if it was going to be on Spotify or not yet. And I lined up all my own press, and I had a morning show to do, like in Philly, Preston and Steve, which is this great, morning show, and have tons of listeners. And and the next day I woke up, I'm like, oh boy, I hope this album's on the biggest streaming service there is before I start promoting it. And I woke up and it was. So it's nice. Just one of those things where it's so rare that you're not gifted things, but that you're given what you, I guess, deserve in this business, where I did something that I really liked, and I thought, oh, I think I deserve this to go correctly and people to listen to it and like it. So, I recorded it outside. I almost said an insane asylum. I recorded it outside of an old steel mill in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
There are a few of those. You could do a Pennhurst gig, I think, if you pull it together.
I think I could. I think actually most comedy clubs count as insane asylums, so I've also recorded them in those too. I recorded outside of this old steel mill, Bethlehem Steel in Pennsylvania, that shut down in like the 1890s, and now they have this cool venue called Steel Stacks there. They have a lot of great concerts, live shows, and I wasn't back. It was in October of 2020, so it was a huge outdoor space where everybody was spaced out, all the comedians at different it was a concert venue essentially, but for a small stand-up show, which was cool. So, it ended up going well enough for me to be like, oh, I'm proud of all this stuff. It's all new material that I haven't done on a previous album. So let's release it.
It had a really, really neat vibe. Matt. It's like a time capsule of your mindset during the pandemic. It was really fun. There was this, thank you. There was a stress, not a stress, but like I don't know if there was a palpable, I guess, like mild tension of, this is strange. Let's celebrate this. This is really cool that we're doing this, but this is strange and not completely comfortable, if that makes sense. I mean, speaking of like keeping up and watching comedy, there's so much out that was shot during the pandemic, which is amazing to me. Erica Rhodes put out one with, what was the other one I saw that was outside? Well, Danny Jollis put his out that wasn't shot during the pandemic. And then there was Kevin Hart shot one in his house. Nate Bargatze shot, and he was like outside and messing with helicopters. Like it is really, really inspirational to me that people still got it together to pull that off during this, because I mean, man, stuff that I was working on, and like, it's like, well, we can't do that. Like, you couldn't have shot I don't feel like you could have shot a legit show that depicted anything other than the pandemic, with like two people in a room that already know each other. You know what I mean? Like, so unless you did a bubble like Tyler Perry's situation, because he like built a town and like had everybody just, you're going to live here for a couple months and we're going to shoot shit. Like, that's cool too.
He's the richest girl. He's the NBA of, like, you know what I mean? of film, where he literally created a bubble. Just like who else created a bubble? It was like the NHL and the NBA and Tyler Perry were the only like entities wealthy enough to create a bubble and worth it.
It's nutty.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And it also would have been inauthentic, I think, to do something that wasn't COVID related, because it's just, I mean, in general conversation, it's just hard. I mean, we're talking about it right now. How do you not, like, I just think that,
imagine us,
entertainment.
we're going to be the worst in like 40 years sitting in old folks home. Remember 2020 and the pandemic? Like it's like our Great Depression. We have this fucking thing, this weird thing to talk about. It's primary. I remember within like a week of all of this happening in the beginning, my daughter was like, "Do you think this will be in like history books and stuff?" I was like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." And by the way, the precursor to the fucking pandemic was the Trump administration. Like, what? It's bananas. It is a Simpsons episode.
He was impeached twice, and I don't even know if that'll come. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, who else? No one else has been impeached, and the guy was impeached twice. He created an insurrection, and it's just, but it's literally somehow the
we're
one
just like,
thing.
Thank God he's gone. Like, oh,
it's crazy. The one thing beyond a world war that could take more attention than that guy who, say like he's a monster, but like if anyone can foster attention, no one has fostered attention better than that man has ever in history. And it's that somehow took attention away from him. I think that's why he tried to get it. He's like, maybe if I get COVID, I can get more attention. Maybe I can get some of its attention. It's what are some of your habits that, like, not even like, I'm trying to think like shift to digital or whatever. What are some of your habits that you think might stay post pandemic? And like any quirks? What if I had a prepared joke that I just pretended like it was like off the top of my head that I was actually setting myself up for? That's not true. I do want to hear.
I don't know, man. I think that it's just weird socially for a while. Like even though I am vaccinated, like I was at Chipotle in line, and I'm so used to everybody being 6 feet apart. I kind of like it. Like stay out of my way a little bit. Right. And these kids, younger people, I think they were like high schoolers or something. They got way too close to me. Like, as I was at the register, they finished their order and got right next to me, like in the old days. And I was just like I still had a mask on because I was inside and I'm vaccinated. And I was still like, this ain't like, why are you doing this? I feel like you're invading my space. So like I'm sure you've heard like certain cultures have different spatial norms in how close they'll get to you or how, when they talk. I think I'm going to have a weirdness about that for a little while. Maybe eventually I'll get over it.
Interesting.
But it's almost like, I wanted the virus to have color so you could see it and know how to stay away from everybody. So that created this like mist in my mind. And like when people talk to me, I'm just like, you could you could have it. So that's got to wear off. I can't live my life like that. I don't think it's healthy. Like, because we are vaccinated now. I don't think for a second about the flu, like I've even made jokes like I'd like to get a good flu, lose 10, 15 pounds, watch some TV. Like, it's not a joke anymore, but it's just like, that's how frivolous we were with kind of the flu in a way. And I hope someday we can be as loose with it there. But the other thing that I also thought, which is really dark, is like all the people were like, I'm young, COVID can't hurt me. It's like, yeah, dumb shit. But if it stays around, someday you're going to be 75 and very susceptible to this dumb, easy virus that you can get over really quickly. If we get rid of it, like we did with polio, then we don't have to worry about it. It's like so short-sighted. I don't know how we got very serious very quickly, but
I love it.
No, the pandemic is an imprint, so I don't know what I'll change. I think I will very carefully weigh whether I get on a plane, and it better be worth it, and go places. Like I think I'm somewhat like an introverted, but I can be extroverted. So like I can use extroversion sometimes, but basically I'm good by myself. Like I'm an only child.
Right.
I can entertain. I'm never bored. So that's kind of cool. I I liked that. It was like, it was like an excuse not to have to think that you need to go out. Like there's no YOLO.
Yeah.
There's no FOMO. You're just like, nobody's doing shit. And I'm with them.
Yeah.
I'm doing shit,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was the thing is like, weird, but that was like one of the, I mean, by the way, I would trade this to obviously not have COVID in a second, but there is so much there is so much competitiveness, or the weird thing with this business is that you are constantly aware who's doing better than you. You're constantly aware of who's doing what.
Yeah.
Because it's big business, but small, like it's small town, everybody talks about everything.
Yeah.
There are trades that publicize, people's new shows and like, new hirings and that sort of things. Right. And if you follow anybody on social media, they're constantly posting about real accomplishments or not, constantly. Right. And it's like, oh, well, delete social media. Then, when you go pitch something, they're going to say, well, where's your social media? Or like, oh, if you're trying to make people see what you created, you need social media, or you DM people through social media to get shows. So it's this weird constant reminder. And there are, I'm sure, like I know people who deal with it in a very healthy way, but you are constantly reminded of who's getting what, Yeah. And that's, I think that was one, consolation prize of this pandemic is that, no one's getting Montreal this year.
Right. Yeah.
This is a silly example, but yeah, no, it's like, that's why I didn't get it this year. It was this awful thing. But yeah, no, it is like, I don't know. I really do hope it's funny. I thought like I was going to be so excited just to have any audience whatsoever. And then you will just see someone that you just hate with all your heart and soul up there. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, I wish you were never here. Like, I wish you didn't make it through it. But like, it's I thought I was going to be this, tolerant person, but yeah, you just like just one drunk person in the front row, like talking. It's just everything, all the lessons out the window. I'm really trying not to have that happen. Like overall, I've been very appreciative of getting back this thing that like I've done for over half my life, and that the pandemic like took away and stuff. So, which by the way, in the scheme of bad things to happen, not that bad, but I've really tried to not take these things for granted.
Yeah. It's I think it's interesting because you come out the other side with a new appreciation and a new perspective that obviously you wouldn't have gotten before. And if you're able to mold it into something useful, then that's great. It's literally just perseverance. Just keep going. And you've made this shift over there. And, I think, I can't, like I said, I can't wait for like the sports seasons. Like, you don't get to just one Rams-Eagles game a year. You can go to, half the season basically if you want.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. All those games, like my buddy that's lived there the whole time. Like when I lived there, I think we talked about this before. When I lived there, I had season tickets to the Phillies and to the Eagles. And, there is nothing quite like having that experience of being in it so deeply. Like,
right.
And so when I moved, I kept the seats for a long time because, you're always like, well, maybe I'll go back. Right. And they were used. I just had my father-in-law used them for a long time. And, when he couldn't go anymore, I gave them to my buddy who never really, he loved the Phillies and stuff, but he'd never really gone to a lot of games. He'd been to a few games, but like never like a lot of games. And I gave him to him, and it was so cool to see him so into it. You know what I mean? And like watch the games and appreciate the games through it. It just felt really good to be like, they're getting used, like this is a really cool thing. So I think you have a good opportunity to like, illustrate what it's like to be there with your take on it. You know what I mean? Because you have you're in a good spot to be able to do that. Like, I think that'd be really fun because you know as well as I do how well Philly travels. They're everywhere, right? You know, so
yeah,
you're like our guide to what it's like to be there again in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to, we can talk about this another time, but I'm like, yeah, I do need to, because that was the one thing like preventing me from doing a Philly sports podcast, I think before, is that I was in Los Angeles. And obviously, I've done projects with a different spin on that, but to do a true Philly sports podcast, if one thing that Philly fans love to do, it's turn on one another.
Yeah.
and I think that is a funny thing, whereas nobody, if I lived here, I wouldn't want to listen to some guy in LA. Like, I wouldn't even give it a chance. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It could be the greatest podcast of all time, but if you're not here, why would I listen to something that you had to say?
Yeah.
Like,
you
don't
be
know.
Legit there now.
By the way, I don't know how much, there's a decent amount, there's enough validity to that, but yeah, it is going to be cool to see, oh, now I can do things living here. And yeah, I'm excited to do it. Cause you take all the skills that you learned out in Los Angeles and now you can apply it to this weird thing.
Yeah.
that, is the weird thing being Philadelphia sports fandom. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that turns into.
Have you been watching Mayor of Easttown?
Yes, I did not see the third episode yet. Is that true? There's 3 out?
They're up to 4, I think. I think 4 came out this week.
Okay. And I don't... I'm on 2 or 3. I'm on 3 or 4, but yeah, it's funny. I forget. Someone said this, but they don't understand why the Philadelphia accent isn't, in the realm of like funny accents with like Boston accent you hear all the time. And, and it's because not all of us have it. It's not a Philadelphia accent. It's more of like a Delco, like sub Philadelphia County accent.
Yeah.
And it's a weird combination of, it's not like Boston is very unique. It has like, you drop the R's, like there's certain, parts of the word that are always, but like the Philadelphia accent, it's both Midwestern and like New York, like, and then also something that doesn't make any sense. And also like you sound sick. Yeah. Like it's you sound nauseous. It's a very strange accent and it's not heard in movies and stuff because it's very ugly. Like it is a very ugly, hard thing to listen to. And I'm glad it's cool that this show is successful because it is like, oh, why don't we see, more ugly people on screen? It's like, cause it's not nice to look at.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't we hear more Philadelphia accents in movies? Like, cause it sounds positively awful. It's a horrible sound. No one wants to listen to it. But by the way, I was joking about like the ugly people thing. I was using an analogy for comedy's sake, but it is a horrific noise. Like the Philadelphia accent, it's not nice.
Yeah, it's its own cacophony. It's just like it's a weird thing, and I can hear myself. I've been so far removed for so long that I don't really slip into it that often, except once in a while I get a good like a good like I can hear it come out and people that move back there slip back into it really quickly too. Like I have one buddy who moved from San Francisco. He was out here for, 12, 13 years too and moved back, and you can hear it start to slip back in because you're around it so much and it's just a groove you can feel, but my parents and my in-laws have it deep. Like it's just so prevalent.
My God.
Yeah.
Beth's accent is fantastic. It's fantastic. It's great. Like I noticed that mine will come out and mine's not that bad at all, but my A's come out when I drink, so like right now when I'm sober, I say I can't do that, but when I've been drinking, it's, I can't, like it turns into this, can't, my aunt, like it's this off. But I don't say would, or I don't say like use guys, but do have that one A that like it's after 3 or 4 drinks, like my my the
Nobody
way I
corrected
speak
us.
starts getting affected.
The reason it's prevalent is because nobody corrected us. Somebody should have said the word's not aunt, it's aunt.
Yeah, aunt.
Like
My
everybody
aunt.
was aunt whatever, you know,
Mhm.
aunt somebody, not
Yeah.
aunt. Aunt was Anthony. Like
Yes,
your cousin Anthony. Like your
it's
aunt.
it's a restaurant, not a restaurant.
Yeah. So weird. Dude, you know when I was going back there all the time, like every month or so, I couldn't
Remember that.
I could not get enough pretzels. Like holy shit. Like it's dangerous, man. They're so good. They're so good.
Pretzel rolls.
For
on fire.
everything. They're always good. And my buddy who I've known forever posted the other day about this place in Jersey called Dunkies or something like that has this crazy circular cheesesteak with a poppy seed roll. That he said,
donkeys. Yeah, donkey. Yeah, it's in Camden.
have you had one?
Oh, but it's on my to-do. Like, it's one of my, like, all right, I have nothing to do this afternoon. Drive across the bridge
to
and, like,
Camden.
go get it in this police state.
No, I think Camden's actually reformed like crazy. They changed. They're like a case study of better policing.
They're a model. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you been to that stadium that's over there? That outdoor jammy?
Oh, my God. It was their venue, right?
Yeah, it was like an outdoor music center kind of deal. Yeah.
I was there for Bill Burr's rant against
Oh,
Philadelphia.
no way.
Did I ever tell you that story?
No, holy shit. That's iconic.
I must have been 16 or 17. And the only reason why I was able to get in was because I was doing stand up at that point, and Helium had a little like side, quote unquote, side stage. It was like a lemonade stand in the parking lot where you did like comedy or whatever that nobody listened to. But so we got there at 5 for 7 o'clock show.
Yeah.
And the show went on. It was, Bill Burr's talked about it, but like the show went on for 5 hours. And anyone who knows anything about comedy, hour and a half is like an ideal show length,
Yeah.
and it went on for 5 hours. And I remember even being at that age when Bill was on stage and just started to, like, the crowd was booing him. And then when he wouldn't accept that as the reality of the situation and just lashed out. And it wasn't like he was just some old man yelling, with no real point. Like, he had this very specific knowledge of Philadelphia, where he mentioned Tug McGraw. He mentioned, Donovan McNabb's ankle injuries, the fact that, like, Donovan McNabb, not just that he gets injured all the time, it's his ankles that would always get hurt. And he knew that, he knew the title drought for the Flyers, like that started in the 90s. It's one of the funniest things. And I remember in a moment, I was not, anywhere in comedy yet, but I realized I was like, oh, this is a really you just got to feel, this sounds so corny, but you felt something where you just thought to yourself, oh, this is a really special moment that I think we're going to be talking about for a really long time. It was unbelievable. God, he had this line where he goes, he broke the mic stand when he was slamming it on the ground while talking, and he has the base of the mic stand, and he goes, I'm going to throw this fucking base of this mic stand into the crowd like a fucking disc. I'm going to hit the only kid in this audience that's going to go to college. He goes, I just want to chain, this is so dark, but he goes, I want to chain everybody to these seats and just open fire. There'll be like 1 ounce of brains on the ground, you bunch of fucking idiots. Like, it was just this incredible it was just, he was so in the moment, and like, obviously, like, said some horrific shit, but also some really clever, funny stuff when, there were, like 4,000, 6,000 drunk, like, piles of trash screaming at him, like on a lawn.
Was that an Opie and Anthony, like, picnic kind of deal or something? Yeah.
Yeah, it was all like the people who would come to something like that, and the comics on it were like Robert Kelly, Jim Norton, I almost said Tracy Morgan, Bill Burr, Dom Irera, like Bob Saget, you know, like all these legends.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Schubert, and you know, it was just
Jimmy
everyone
Schubert was on that show?
drinking.
Holy-
The show was going on for 6 hours. Like, what are you supposed to do? You know,
Wasn't it? Didn't he come? Who was he defending when he first came out? He was pissed off when he first came out. Was it Jimmy Schubert?
it was. I think it was Dom Irera.
Dom
I think
Irera.
it was. Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
Dom Irera.
God damn. Yeah, that's I mean, now it would be okay because we're kind of used to having outdoor shows and stadiums of comedy, but then that wasn't normal. Like that didn't fit. Like that's a rock show. You know, one person standing on stage with a light on him doesn't make any sense. You know?
No, and yeah, it's just not. That's a huge thing people
And
don't talk about.
the sound at that venue is shit. That's what I started to bring up was the sound in that venue is terrible. I don't know if it's gotten better,
For
but
music, it's terrible.
yeah, for
And
every show I've ever seen there, the
comedy.
music was terrible. I saw Pearl Jam there. I was like, this sound sucks. And I moved from the lawn down under the canopy. It was a little better, but it was still, I was like, oh my God, this is an acoustic nightmare. You know?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad play. It's an awful play. I don't know what it's called anymore, but it should be destroyed. Honestly, it should be like treated, you know, like some sort of like memorial, or like, you know, like some sort of nuclear fallout happened in there, because there probably has, you know, the
they're
amount
like,
of people like vomiting.
It's like a Jersey amphitheater. Like, yeah, we'll make an amphitheater. They didn't study how you should make an amphitheater. Like, if you've been to the Greek and like a real amphitheater, like if you're on stage and you hear a pin drop, like everybody hears it. Like it built acoustically to, like, who did I see sing there once and they turned off the mic? God damn, I don't remember who it was, but they put the mic down and stood at the edge of the stage at the Hollywood Bowl and sang. And it was unbelievable. Like it was
Crazy.
just perfect. It was like that those places are so dope. And that
That's
Camden
really
place
cool.
is not like that. Yeah, but the bad thing is I can't remember who it was. Like I don't remember what show it was. I've only seen like 5 or 6 shows there, so I should remember, but I don't. Yeah, man, it's it is going to be fun when things open up. I think next year is going to be really fun. Even the part of this year will be too. This summer will get a little crazy. Yeah, man, it's going to be weird. I think I'm going to carry a lot of baggage from this. I think a lot of us are going to carry a lot of baggage from this.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's baggage from 4 years of abuse and then a pandemic, you know, like it's been rough, dude. It's been hard. If you were paying attention and letting it get to you, it's been really hard. I would say the first 2 years were kind of silly. Then it started to get like, hey, this isn't normal. Like things are starting to get real dark here, you know? And so I think we're all a little, you know, broken from all that.
I agree.
But you have pretzels to save you, and Wawa. Kate Winslet loves Wawa now. It's
She's a genius. She gets it. Yeah, man. No, there's no shortage of things I can stuff my body with. So yeah, I'm good. Hopefully that'll wear off at some point. It's like you don't have to have a cheesesteak every other day. Like you can maybe spread that out over a month.
2 cheesesteak a week limit. Oh man, that's crazy, dude. I can't wait to see you again. I you know,
you too.
If you're out here, let me know, obviously. But we probably will be back there at some point before next fall. But it'd be great to catch up, and whatever you do, let me know. I'll blow it up. Tell people, all 12 of my listeners, to check it out. And
Same, man. Yeah, of course. No, this feels normal. It's how it feels like we were just hanging out. This was great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about. I want to hear about your project. Anything you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess just, you know, keep listening to that podcast if anyone like wants to listen to something
I'll
like
put all
that.
the links in. Blake's Takes, for Christ's sakes.
Yes, Blake's Takes, for God's sakes. That also, yeah, blakewexler.com/ live dates, I guess. Just go to blake.com and I have live dates on there. I don't know what the subcategory is, but yeah, you know, I'm coming to Indianapolis and I'm doing the Heliums. I should be at Indianapolis next month, you know, around Philly a lot. So yeah, if you're comfortable, you know, if you're vaccinated, that's, you know, it seems safe to come to those shows. So I'd love to see you guys there.
They're doing Helium's doing one redoing Cap City too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool. Was Todd Glass what did he have to say about your move?
He supported it. Yeah, he was like, you know, you need to trust your instincts. And yeah, you know, like obviously, like, you know, you confide in certain people, but yeah, it was cool where, you know, there were certain people where I was like, oh, they're not going to love this move. They might think it's the wrong thing to do, blah, blah, blah. But everyone was universally supportive, which was great.
Yeah,
so
everybody said you should leave,
that helps.
is what you're saying. Everybody was like, yeah, you should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was almost offensive, actually, now that I think about it. They're like, hey, go. People were packing up my things for me. It was strange.
How soon can you be out of here? Like, week, month? What's going on? When are we talking?
Oh, guys, I don't have a plane ticket yet. Oh, we booked one for you. Don't worry. First class. Yeah, first class. No return ticket. Get out.
Oh man, dude, it's always good to catch up. I'm glad you're doing well. Thanks for staying up late for me. And dude, be well and stay safe. And let's stay in touch.
You too. Absolutely. Thanks, Matt.
All right, brother. See ya.
Said to myself, this fair ain't never gonna go too well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know too well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything come what might for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that rings in the nights, repeats and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you ain't never gonna win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop just before I begin. Yes, I've got you under my skin. Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be too wise. I said, now, hey there, you on that high-flying cloud. Though she won't throw a crumb to you, you think someday she'll come to you. Baby, better forget her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string, break it and she won't